Billy here with GoPro Travels. Join me today here at Fort Lauderdale International Airport. We're going to have a look at the new Centurion Studio Escape Lounge that opened just this week. Have a peek with me inside. This lounge is located here in Terminal 3 between the E and F gate wings. It's also accessible airside from Terminal 4. So a number of airlines you can take advantage of, including JetBlue, American, and like I say, it's been open for less than a week. I see the sign right ahead. Let's see what it's like. This lounge is nice and open for its size, with windows into the terminal and out onto the tarmac. There's a wide variety of seating inside with a very modern Florida feel. I sat in a pod-style seat by the windows and head over to the buffet to check out lunch. The food stations are hit hard and replenished quickly. So in a few minutes, I was able to get a drink from the bar and return to get the items I hadn't picked up on the first pass. The individual plating reminds me of what I've seen from the Capital One Lounge in Dallas, which I still need to review. And the food was quite good. Right, this lounge is 5,000 square feet. It's not the biggest, but pretty nice. Nice finishes you can see here behind me. I'm getting on a delayed plane with about less than 20 minutes to walk from gate to gate when I get to Dallas, assuming everything stays on time. So, well, the lounge was nice. Let's see how the rest of this attempt to get back to Seattle with one stop to Fort Lauderdale goes. Thanks to a flight change earlier in the day, I was relegated to a regular economy seat for this flight. Okay, made here to Dallas, made up time in the air. Now, we're gonna be getting on our next plane on time. Got upgraded to first class on this flight, so we're gonna check out the dinner service here on American Airlines in October of 2022. After taking a deep breath that I was gonna make it to Seattle the same day, I walked down the jet bridge and prepared to board this evening's A321neo. This aircraft has been equipped with American's latest generation Project Kodiak domestic first class in a 2-2 configuration. And I was able to score a window seat all the way in the back of the cabin, 5A. I can't believe after flying all the way to Dallas, I ended up looking back at my last plane just one gate away. The seat back in front of you is all boring hard plastic. I reviewed this seat in detail before. Today we're just going to take a look at the first class service on this 1,600-mile flight. Despite the nice setting outside of the window, things were not off to a rousing start as there was no pre-departure beverage offering. The captain made an announcement about this having been a long day for the crew. However, I don't think that's an excuse to skip service on this flight, where the doors closed almost 10 minutes before the scheduled departure. Taking off to a sunset like that is certainly a treat, and it makes up a bit for the total darkness that would dominate most of our time in the air this evening. I set my tablet up in the seat back, and fairly shortly after takeoff, the flight attendant came around with hot towels and took dinner and drink orders. Hot towels were one of the last things to return with the pandemic cutbacks rolling away, and they are a treat. After that, we waited quite a while. On this flight, orders were taken from back to front, and then the service was done from front to back. So it took 35 minutes from the hot towel until the nuts and drink came to my seat. That makes 2 total hours from boarding to getting any kind of beverage. Quick blue review here on the A321neo first class. Forward lavatory. Get ready for dinner to be served. Got the beef short rib in the back there. Look forward to trying it out. Here's a look at the full pre-order menu for tonight's flight, as I had captured on my original flight I had changed off of. The bottom 2 options are dedicated healthy selections that Americans rolled out, one being a grain bowl. A different grain bowl is also the vegetarian option on tonight's regular menu. How many airlines out there can you fly where you get the choice of 2 grain bowls? That's a lot of grain. I hope we don't run out. Anyway, since I was in the seat closest to Miami, Even though my pre-order didn't carry through to this flight, I was able to secure my beef short rib, a dish that American seems to consistently excel at. And the mac and cheese was excellent as well. A warm roll, shrimp appetizer, and salad rounded out this dish nicely. I do have to note that it took another 40 minutes for the main course to be served after drinks were dropped off. A second flight attendant had come forward to help at this point, and in the process, forgot to refill my drink. That said, whether because of the hour or not, everything was delicious and I inhaled every bite. So by the time my plate was cleared, there was just an hour and a half left in today's flight. I suppose that beats a rush service, as I wasn't keen to pay $25 for Wi-Fi to pass the time, electing instead to use the live streaming TV feature to catch Sunday Night Football as we passed over a dark and empty western United States this evening. 15 minutes after my main plate was cleared, I was offered sorbet or a cheese plate. I elected for the cheese plate, and it was brought promptly. Here I have to put American service this evening in context. That's a lot of service points for a domestic flight. Going the other direction through Atlanta on Delta, I was served a cold meal with only a single side and a prepackaged cookie for dessert on one tray. Delta does at least provide bedding though, something American has still not brought back to these longer domestic flights. Let's talk about today's flight. I was originally booked on a later departure from Fort Lauderdale and Dallas. However, American alerted me early that morning that due to an aircraft change, my flight from Dallas was going to be departing 90 minutes late. I had already confirmed an upgrade at 72 hours in advance with my Platinum Pro status, a privilege American was charging $194 for on this single flight leg. While I was nervous to lose my upgrade, I used my status's free same-day confirmed flight change perk to change to an earlier set of flights, and to my happy surprise, I was immediately booked into first on my new flight from Dallas to Seattle, in what was at that time the only open seat. My original flight had several open seats, so this was a good development. Later, when I rechecked the seat chart, I was able to move back to row 5. However, none of the 7 people on the waitlist this evening had their upgrades clear. I would say holding status on American really came through for me and allowed me to get home 3 hours sooner than I would have if I had stayed on my original delayed itinerary tonight, at no additional cost and in first class for the longer of the 2 flights. So we descended through the clouds and rain into SeaTac this evening, and I was grateful for the experience. Okay, that was a lovely flight from Dallas here to Seattle. Good first class service with American there. For better or worse, being in the back of the cabin, it did kind of drag on for most of the flight, but it did help to pass the time. Nice to get a good thorough meal service back in the air, fully functional with American Airlines. Hope you enjoyed coming along. Billy with Gilbert Travels. I'll see you on my next flight. Please remember to like, comment, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be made aware first when more content is available. As always, thanks for watching.